What's up, guys? All right, so I made a video on this before. Figure I'd go a little deeper because somebody was like, dude, I love the video, but they had questions, so I want to answer that question. So the whole part about this is the ultimate wealth hack. Real estate itself is the ultimate wealth hack. Now, real estate is confused because you may think most people think single family houses or whatever. I'm talking about commercial, institutional quality, multifamily real estate that cash flows, multifamily. So I was getting on the elevator with my buddy Ken Lee. I had just bought a deal with Ken. He's a broker. And Steve Metter, this guy who owns a ton of properties downtown Waikiki, Honolulu, all over, like massive institutional high rises. So he got on and I was like, hey, what's up, Steve? We're part of this private club. And he was like, hey, Vic, how's it going today, man? I was like, how's real estate? What's going on? And he was talking about he had just closed a shopping center. This other one wasn't doing good. He was meeting with his team. So he gets off and we get to the restaurant part at the top at the penthouse. And my buddy Ken goes, you made more money than he did today. He looks worn out. And I was like, yeah, no, I didn't make more money than him. I just spent a ton of money because I just bought a deal. But that wasn't the case. See, I didn't get it. The hack in that situation was I had hacked my way into $1 million. I just bought $1 million, right? But most people don't get that. They don't think real estate's money. They don't see it as a wealth hack because they don't think about that. But I wanted to go over that with you today. Long story long, because that's what I like to do. But I'm going to go over 5 things, 5 very specific things to hack your way into wealth. And there's an important thing. I'm gonna switch some stuff around so you get it. And I ain't gonna be here long today because I got some shit to do, and I know you do too. But I'm committed to you guys. I want to help you. I want to help you create wealth and take care of you and your families. I do. So the main thing about this thing was with it being like wealth as a multiplier, as a hack. You want to hack your way into wealth, okay? So the number one thing that I didn't get an understanding of was leverage. Leveraging my way into wealth. You're going to hack your way into wealth. You need some tools, right? So this is the number one tool. Look, for every $1 buys you $3 in real estate, right? So let's just we'll use this example because the guy who asked me a question, he had 300 grand. So if he were to invest 300K, I'll switch it out. His $300,000 would actually be worth about 900K in a deal. That's huge. So when you have good leverage on a deal, your dollar buys you $3 in real estate. Typically it goes with $3 and $4, but I'm just keeping it conservative. So if you invested 300K in a deal, your 300,000 is now worth 900,000. That's huge. That's a hack. You want to find out how to become accredited right off the bat. Work your ass off and you dump 300 grand or 350,000 or $400,000 in a deal. Your 400 grand, let's go 400 if you wanted to have $1 million net worth. Your $400,000, you invested it into a deal. You are now accredited. Why? Because you have $1 million net worth. Because your money is the value, the valuation on your money, the leverage. Now that moves us into one thing. So the leverage, and then number 2, I'm going to be blowing through paper. Your net worth. Net worth. That's an H. Your net worth, boom. When you raise your net worth, your wealth goes up. Most people don't get this. So naturally, if you invest money in a deal, your net worth goes up because the value of your money went up. Now, if you buy $100,000 worth of stock, you only have $100,000 worth of stock, like I said. But if you invest passively $100,000 into a real estate deal, your money is worth 300 grand. So your net worth went up, which is what my buddy Kim was trying to explain to me. He's like, look, dude, you closed the deal today. You're worth $1 million. You have $1 million of equity in that deal. That's crazy. You know why? Because if you're like me, you ran a business. My business was buying and selling real estate at the time. I bought this multifamily property. I bought the deal because I wanted $4 grand a month. That's really why I closed the deal, right? But what I wasn't exposed to at the time was how wealthy people think. They aren't. Castle, who cares? Castle, whatever. That's great. You got a business. The money's coming in. It's going to support itself. But you are now worth $1 million more than you were yesterday based on the equity in the deal, the valuation of the deal, right? That was huge for me. So if you want a quick wealth hack, start thinking through your net worth. Now, I'm going to go through the next one because this is where some professionals, know-it-alls, smart aleckies. I had somebody tell me this the other day. She was like, oh, well, you can't spend net worth. True. Which is why your deals need to have some form of cash flow. Because that other person, she's an investor and she's a business owner. We were talking about investing, but she's like, well, you can't spend net worth. So I care more about money, making money, making money, making money. And I was like, because you don't have any money. You don't have a system to grow your business. You aren't even focused on it. Because, and I'll share this with you when I'm done through this next piece. But cash flow is the little drip. The little drip, drip, drip. It looks like drips, right? The little drips that pay you every month that give you confidence. Confidence in the investment that you made. Because if you're going to be a long-term investment, like you're going to invest in Bell Capital or commercial multifamily deals, 3, 5, 7, 10 years, it's a long time. It's not flipping a house. It's not you bought a product and you sold it, or you have a product that you sell in your business and you sell and you're going to get that money. We're not talking about that. We're talking about creating wealth through investing money, right? We'll stick to 300 grand. That confidence that your 5% on your 300 grand that you get every whatever, right? Excuse me, like that 1,500 bucks that comes in a month, whatever. That is confidence. That's cash flow. Now, you ain't going to be able to live off 1,500 bucks a month, but that goes along with the other money and it's paying you. It's separate. It's passive, or at least it should be. All right. So, and then the other one is the tax benefits. Said I was going to switch it around, but I didn't. The tax bennies. Bennies. I like to call them bennies because think about it like this. Let's say you get, and I went over this, if I paid you 5% on your money, right? And you didn't have to pay taxes on it, that's really like getting 7% on your money. And I'll show you why. I'll show you why on the other paper. I'm running out of paper because I get excited when I write. So let's say you have you're getting like, because I get this a lot. Well, Victor, I'm getting 4% on my money at the bank. Well, let's say you're getting 4% on your money at the bank. Or really you're getting like 0.02 or whatever, 0.002%. But let's just say you're getting 4% because you got a good bit of money and it's locked up. When you get that, you're going to be taxed, depending on if you're a high roller, you're going to pay 40% taxes on what you earned on that money. Because when you file for taxes, it's earned, it's considered earned income, ordinary income, whatever you want to call it. So it's going to be taxed at 40%. So no matter what you got, you're going to lose. It's almost like losing 2% of your deal. So you're really only getting 2% on your money, not 4 what you think you're getting. Now, if somebody gives you 5% on your money, you don't have to pay taxes on it because you get the pass-through benefits of, hey, I'm a partner in the deal. I get write-offs. I get all this stuff. And then your cash flow is not taxed. That's like somebody giving you 7% on your money. That's the benefit of that, which is what I was saying earlier. The tax benefits is the wealth hack. Why? Because if you can keep more of your money and you keep investing it, now you're playing the game. Why? Because what do we say? This money buys you 3 times in real estate. That's the whole thing. That's how the wealthy keep doing this. They aren't paying a ton of money on they're not paying a ton of taxes on their money. They're either writing it off in their business and they take all their other money, the extra income they've been putting off to the side, chopping, and then they invest it in a real estate deal that's paying them every month. Then they get the tax write-off. So now they're not paying a bunch of money on business taxes. Now they're not paying money on their passive income, and they're keeping more of what they make, and their wealth goes up while their net worth is growing, right? This is really the game. And last but not least, not really last but not least, there's a ton of shit. As you guys can tell, man, I get excited about this stuff because I was actually in the game. I described this last time. That's like being an MMA fighter and you only box. But then you get in the ring and somebody takes you down because they're good wrestlers, they're good ground and pounders, they choke you out because they're good at jiu-jitsu, and you can't play the game. You go, oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. It's because you don't know the rules, or you're not playing by all of the rules, or you're only playing by your rule, and you think that because somebody else is playing by their rules too, and not just yours, that it's unfair. It's not unfair, man. Don't hate the fighter. Hate the game. You don't see people in the UFC complaining because somebody took, well, you do. You see the spectators booing, but you never hear Dana White stand up and go, oh, you know what? That guy took that guy down. No, stand him up, because the rules are, these are the rules, right? Same thing with real estate, and you're creating wealth. So last but not least, it's a multiplier. Multiplier. It's a multiplier. right? So, and I said this before. Let's say, same guy, I explained it to him. He has 300K. I was like, look, what if we did this? 300K in the deal. Your 300K, number one thing you want to do is you want to protect your money. You have worked your butt off for it, your ass off for it, whatever you want to say, and you've been saving your money. So you have a business, you've been putting away money after you've done, you've been diligent, you've been disciplined, and you go from there, right? Everybody knows how to, one, they know how to earn money, they know how to save money, which is what this guy's doing with his 300. But very few people know how to multiply their money. This is probably the most important part of the wealth hack there is. Now there's multiple vehicles to do it, but you got to know the vehicle you want to be in. So again, we're here. This guy puts in, we start paying him 5%. He makes 5% a year on his money. All right. So over 10 years, this guy right off the bat, he's going to earn $150,000. He's almost at 50% of his money back, and he hasn't done anything. The real estate's constantly kicking off money. Boom. We're going to make sure this happens. Hypothetically, I'm just kind of giving you guys some examples of this stuff, right? I'm going to go to another page. No, I'm going to leave it. Okay, good. So now this is over a 10-year period. Now, what's he doing while he's waiting? Running his business, making his money, stocking more money, maybe reinvesting, maybe putting in other deals with us or on his own. I don't know. But we're just talking about this current 300 grand and being, how do you multiply your $300,000? All right. So now he's already made back $150,000. So that's almost half of his initial investment, and he hasn't lost it. Money's not gone. It's just not in his account, right? If you treat commercial multifamily real estate like a bank, get out of the banks, put it in real estate where it's not going to be lost and or destroyed, and the value of the building is going to be sustained because rents, right? But you're getting 5% return on your money. That's the key. Now, during that time, let's say, because you can't assume that the real estate itself, because rents will continue to go up in this country for 40 years, 8 to 9%. But let's just say they continue to go up over the next decade by another 5%. Let's keep it simple. So you got another 5% coming in off of this guy's money. All right. So now we're going to take this, cut it in half, 12. Let's just go 12. We'll just go another 12K. Yeah, go from there. Because we're only going to do 5 years, right? So 5, and I'm just going to jump my math. So if we have another, we're not going to do it for 5 years. Say we'll only get collection. We're going to increase the income of that property based on that over just the 5 years. We're not going to get full 10. We're just going to do that. 5% times 5 years, 75. 75. That's 75K. I mean, it's 75. Boom. We'll scratch that out because I'm running out of paper. That's really why I'm making a mess down here. I'll make it to where you can see it. I can't see it. So now this person has 150,000. He's made 150,000 on his money. Right? So that's 150 plus the other 75,000. 75. It's 225. I dropped the zeros. Made 225 on his money. We're talking about multiplying. So now he's made 225K. He invested 300. That was his initial investment, right? As you guys can see, this is an initial investment. It's initial investment. This is just through cash flow and holding it out. Then later, I turn around and sell. I go, hey, man, here's your 300K back. Plus, we hit a double. So I give him another 300K. That's the target, right? And while he waited, he made 225K, right? So that's what, 625. That's 625 plus the other 300. That's 920. Because he got his 300K back. So his 300,000 turned into 925,000, and all he did was wait. 925,000. This is the power of multiplication, guys, because like I said, most people spend more time doing what our mommies and daddies and all the people who loved us did, or our grandpas, or people you saw, or your mentor, or your school teacher, or somebody who really wasn't focused on creating wealth. They was like, hey, man, go work hard, save your money, don't spend it, pay off all your debts, and then hopefully when you die, you have some left over, which is probably not going to happen because most people in America die with nothing, right? Very few people are ever taught how to multiply it. And then when people are taught how to multiply it, what happens? they make a hell of a lot more money. They live wealthy. They have all the things that they want, and they've been focusing, and then they don't do that. But you can't do that unless you actually learn how to take 300,000, which is what I'm sharing with you, how to take your 300,000, turn your 300,000 into $925,000 over time while you continue, because you're not going to stop working your business. Your business is still going to keep generating money, keep generating revenue. Hopefully you're scaling your business and you're focusing on that while you're investing money, you're leveraging your money, and by investing it, you're building up your net worth as you go, because you have your business now and you have your investments that are creating your net worth. You got cash flow coming in. Like I showed you on that cash flow, that 5%, since he's not doing the work, he would invest it. And I'm using this as an example. This is passive. This is also passive. This is going to happen whether he does anything or not. He quits his other stuff, his other business, closes his doors down. That cash flow is going to keep on rolling. Period. He gets sick. His wife gets sick. Her kids get sick. He wants to go on vacation. Real estate's not going to care. It's just going to keep paying and keep paying and keep paying, because that's really the game. This is what Ken Lee was trying to tell me. He was like, dude, you made more money than him today. He's stressed out, even though he has more stuff. You made $1 million in a day because you closed the deal, right? Just like that guy. That guy invests 300 grand. His 300 grand is probably going to be worth $900,000. I just showed you how this works. This is the leverage piece. And it's 300,000 before he even gets started. He can go to anybody and substantiate, hey, look, my position in this deal is probably going to be worth 900 grand. Boom. That's my net worth. Make it happen. Look, this is the game. Other real estate guys play, they're super conservative. I'm super conservative with money. I'm extremely conservative with two things, money and deals. I do not want to lose money, and I do not like shitty deals. So if you ever invest with me, it's been combed over. But if you're going to do this yourself, man, think about it. These are the hacks. Number one, leverage. You need to leverage your money. You cannot create wealth without investing. Investors invest. The number one way to become an accredited investor, meaning you make $200,000 a year, that's one way. The other way, you have $1 million net worth, excluding your primary residence, which means you have to take your money out of the bank and invest it in some vehicle or an asset like real estate that multiplies itself, so the worth of your money expands. The next thing, cash flow. It's got a cash flow. Bankers and banks and people in the accounting finance world love to see that you have money coming in even though you ain't doing shit. Like, that is how it works. Warren Buffett says it the best. Like, you need to make money while you sleep, or you're going to make money for somebody else while they sleep. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's what he meant. Next, the tax bennies. You got to have tax benefits. If you invest in a deal like in Bell Capital, we pass our K1s to you guys. You're not like in a REIT where you don't get the tax benefits. You don't get the write-offs. You get a K1, you get the depreciation, you get accelerated depreciation. All that stuff gets passed on to our investors. Why? Because you're an actual partner in the deal, right? And then next, you got to understand, as a major wealth hack, the multiplier, the wealth multiplier, the multiplier. How do you turn 300 grand into 900? How do you turn 100,000 into 300,000? How do you turn $1 million into 3 million? How do you turn 10 million into 30 million or 40 million? How do you turn 100 million? You get it, because I like to go on. But this is, if you can get your head wrapped around this, it gives you something to shoot for. So if you have a business and you're generating like $1 million, $10 million a year, and you have money that you've put aside and you're just saving that money and you're saying, hey, I got this money, I'm gonna save it for a rainy day, invest the money. Move from being an active business owner to being a passive investor into a real estate deal, commercial multifamily real estate deal, like what we do or what you want to do, whatever. But that's the only way to create wealth, guys. It is. So hopefully this information, even though I go through it fast, go back and watch it again. But if you have questions, leave them in the comments. If you have a comment, leave it in comments. Good, bad, or ugly. I love it. I talk to you guys. I appreciate it. I do this because I want to share. I want to be transparent. And this is truly what we do at Bell Capital. So if you're interested in investing with us or getting more information, like, you can't even look at a deal that I'm showing, because I show a couple of pictures here and there, but I go into the weeds with anybody who's interested in finding out what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. But you got to register before I show you anything. Like, you can't come to dinner unless you actually make a reservation so we know who's sitting at the table. So go to bell-capital.com, register your account. It takes less than 5 seconds or less than 5 minutes for sure. And just put your name, email information, accredited or not accredited. Don't matter if you're not accredited. Just get in there and take a look. I got it, but you got to be accredited to invest. So I want to help you. I'm here for you. I wish I had this information when I got started because it's one of my biggest regrets. I would have worked a lot harder when I was just buying multifamily properties as an operator, knowing that investors make way more money than the guy that's running the show. Because you got to build a team, you got to do all that stuff. It's great. It sounds sexy. It's not. It's a lot of fucking work. My investors will always make more money than I will, right? So anyways, I appreciate you guys. Have a great day today. Let's get after it and let's go.